Hello, fellow football connoisseurs, and welcome back to the Quick Take. Chelsea have just beaten Nottingham Forest 3-2 in a very important Premier League game, of course. Chelsea's big opposition for Europa League football, dropping points today. Newcastle drawing at Brighton, and Spurs nearly dropping points against Burnley. They were 1-0 down. They managed to make a late comeback and end the game 2-1, but Chelsea did not falter when it was their chance to get points on the table. As I said, winning 3-2. A very interesting game. Chelsea played very damp, very lethargic. Not the Chelsea we've seen in the past 2.5 games that has been lauded as fantastic, and I believe it has been fantastic. Of course, the Cucurella inverting role has certainly changed a lot of things, but Nottingham Forest, I think they have studied Chelsea and what we've been doing these past 2.5 games very well, and in my opinion, I think they did fairly well at nullifying Cucurella's effectiveness in that role, inverting alongside Moises Caicedo, and they took advantage of that. Again, Chelsea did open up the scoring with a fantastic Mykhailo Mudryk finish, but we have to talk about the Cole Palmer pass. Cole Palmer, again, absolute revelation. When it came in, I was skeptical. He hadn't had that much minutes. I wanted Xavi Simons. I wanted foreign verts. But Cole Palmer comes in, and he has been incredible. Obviously, his finishing is out of this world, but I think something that really needs to be talked about more is his vision. The way he's able to make passes in behind, perfectly weighted, for players like Jackson and players like Nkunku. Actually had some good minutes today, and players like I said, Mykhailo Mudryk, who can use his pace to get on the end of these balls. It's just fantastic, and it's a fantastic tool for us to utilize. Cole Palmer, revelation again, putting the ball on a silver platter for Mykhailo Mudryk, and then Wilfred Bolly scores a fantastic header, making it 1-1. And then Chelsea kind of just meandering throughout the rest of the game. There are some changes made. Now, I think we all knew this goal was coming. Callum Hudson-Odoi cuts onto his right foot. Lovely finish from the former Chelsea Academy star, of course. Big player, was linked with a big move to Bayern Munich. Picked up that Achilles tendon injury and was just never the same. But he's gone to Nottingham Forest, and he is reimagined himself, reinvigorated his career over in Nottingham Forest. And at that point, I was a bit nervous because we've seen this happen time and time again with Chelsea. It is a prominent pattern that has happened throughout the league. We play well for 2 or 3 games, and then there's a complete drop-off in ability, and we look like toddlers again, who barely know how to walk and barely know how to kick a ball. It's a very strange phenomenon that happens with Chelsea a lot throughout this season, but we managed to rally. As I said, Sterling came on, managed to get a goal in the 80th minute, and then Nicholas Jackson scores a header, created beautifully, and this is why I've named him our saviour for today, beautifully, by the returning Reece James. Of course, Reece James now back from his hamstring injury, looking better than ever, putting in fantastic crosses. And, you know, Nicholas Jackson, with that goal, again, what do you want your strikers to do? Score goals. And speaking of scoring goals, look at Šeško. Unbelievable player at the moment. Absolutely unreal form. But back onto Nicholas Jackson. What do you want from your striker? You want him to score goals. For the majority of the game today, I'm going to call it out now, Jackson was pretty bad. And that's to be expected with young players, and that's to be expected by players who are obviously nowhere near their prime and can be fairly volatile in terms of form. But it really is fantastic to see Reece James putting in those balls that we all know he can do, and coming back into the side, and hopefully he'll be starting games going forward. Of course, it's been nice having Conor Gallagher as captain, but in my opinion, the true captain of this side is, of course, going forward, going to be Reece James, my right back. So, as mentioned earlier, this game was a huge game in terms of Chelsea's hopes of getting Europa League football. Of course, it is now believed that 6th is enough to get you Europa League football, unless Manchester United manage to get a result against Man City in the FA Cup final. As I've said before, stranger things have happened than underdogs winning in cup finals. Stranger things have happened. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, United are terrible, but they do have a chance. So Chelsea are going to want to push it for that 6th spot. As I said, Newcastle dropped points to Brighton today, and their final 2 games of the season are not too easy. They have Brentford on the final day on the 19th of May, and then, of course, Manchester United, a massive game coming up on the 15th. Whether Newcastle can get a result there is out of our hands, All we can do is pick up wins in our final few games, which is, of course, against Brighton, the De Zerbi potential audition at the Amex Stadium, the American Express Stadium, and then, of course, on the final day, Chelsea versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth, of course, right now sitting 11th in the table on a loss-win-win, loss-loss at this current point in time streak, whereas Chelsea have seemed to turn their fortunes around with loss, draw, win, win, win. The first time you've got 3 wins in, I can't even remember how long. I think it was like around about game week 18, game week 20. Long time ago, long time ago. But this is the bare minimum from Chelsea, getting results against the likes of Nottingham Forest, getting results against the likes of West Ham, beating Spurs, 3-point lane. This is what I want to see from Chelsea. Consistency in results. And yes, it's 3.5 good games. And hopefully at the review at the end of the season regarding Poch, whether he stays or goes, I don't want them to focus all their attention on what they have seen, as I said, against Villa, against Spurs, against West Ham, and against Nottingham Forest. Again, we look quite poor against Nottingham Forest. It was Reece James's brilliance and a very good shot from Sterling, curling into the bottom right-hand corner, and even Cole Palmer's brilliance in his vision that managed to save Chelsea and keep them in this Europa League race. But, as I said, you cannot base a manager's future and a manager's viability in terms of working with this side based on a handful of results against teams that we should be beating. They really need to look at the entire season as a whole. We wouldn't be in this situation where we're hoping that Newcastle drop points and that we're hoping that our little spout of good form can continue if we were able to get favourable results against the likes of Wolves, if we were able to get good results against the likes of, I don't know, Sheffield United, who have been relegated, or Burnley, who have been relegated. It's those games that are going to come back to haunt us if we do not finish in a Europa League position and we miss out on that Air Jordan sponsorship. I'm going to end the video on a quick question for you and answering it myself. Do we need a striker in the summer? Because a couple of days ago, I saw some talk regarding Nicholas Jackson and the whole debate whether or not we should be spending 105, 120 million pounds on Victor Osimhen come the summer. In my opinion, yes, we do definitely need a striker. Nicholas Jackson, although he has been fantastic for good chunks of the season and he's put in very good performances, I think his hold-up play is very good. I think he's just a little bit too inconsistent if you want to be building a team that is fighting for Premier League titles, that is fighting in major cup competitions, that is not going to go missing in big games against Man City. I'm not saying he has done, but in big games against Man Cities, against the Arsenals, against the Liverpools, against the, even you could say Villas, against the Uniteds. Of course, he's probably had good games against these teams, but I'm just saying you need that killer in front of goal, and I just don't think Nicholas Jackson is that yet. So yes, I do think we need a striker in the summer. Now, of course, a striker I have mentioned a lot on the channel in regards to Chelsea's striker pursuits coming the summer is, of course, Benjamin Šeško, and then we did have this from Fabrizio Romano. Benjamin Šeško has scored a goal or provided an assist in each Bundesliga game he started since January 27th. 10 goals, 2 assists in 12 games, all in separate games. He had a goal against Stuttgart, Union Berlin, Augsburg, Bayern Munich. He had an assist against Bochum and Köln. He had goals against Freiburg, Wolfsburg, Heidenheim, Dortmund, Hoffenheim and Werder. Fantastic striker again, 20 years old. Absolutely unreal potential. I would love to see him in a Chelsea shirt. He would, of course, be the far cheaper option to Victor Osimhen. So Victor Osimhen or Benjamin Šeško, let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Will Chelsea get Europa League football? Yes or no? If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. I've been The Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.